Welcome! This video will guide you through the removal and installation of the single or double dynamic O-ring seal for the Wright Flow Technologies RTP20 pump. This informational video covers the RTP20. As always, consult the applicable installation and operation manual for important safety information before you begin. A copy of the latest manual can be found on our website at www.wrightflowtechnologies.com. Always remember that safety is the highest priority. When working on or around any equipment, follow the correct safety procedures. It is critical to know what liquid the pump is handling and what precautions are necessary to safely handle the liquid. Always read and follow the safety warnings in the service manual before any work is started on the pump. A complete listing of required tools may be found within the installation and operation manual. For questions regarding the configuration of your pump and a complete parts breakdown, please contact your local authorized Wright Flow Technologies distributor. Be sure to have the model and serial number of the pump to obtain individual and/or service kit part numbers. This video will guide you through the removal and installation of the single or double dynamic O-ring seal for the Wright Flow Technologies RTP20 pump. The O-ring seal kit includes all required O-rings and food-grade assembly lubricant for one complete pump. Following the safety precautions outlined in the manual, vent all the pressure inside the pump prior to removal of the front cover. Keep the pump and work area as clean as possible. Note the best practice will always be to reinstall any reused component from the location it was removed from. Loosen the 4 retainer nuts from the front cover. Remove the pump's front cover using the lever slots located in the 5 o'clock and 11 o'clock positions. Once the front cover is detached, remove the cover O-ring. Remove the rotor retainers. To do so, you will need to block the rotors using Wright Flow Technologies rotor locking tool, Z94-8877-06. Alternatively, you may use a suitable malleable material such as nylon or wood that will prevent damage to the rotors. Do not use a metallic material to lock the rotors. Remove the rotor retainers, turning each in a counterclockwise rotation. Note that both retainers have right-hand threads. When the retainers are removed, remove the retainer O-ring. Remove both rotors from their respective shaft. Wright Flow Technologies offers a tool that aids users in performing easy rotor removal by utilizing the tapped holes located on the front of the rotor. Please contact your authorized distributor for more details on this special tool. Once the rotors have been removed, take off each shaft O-ring. Remove the dynamic O-ring from the outboard groove of the rotor. For a double O-ring configuration, also remove the O-ring from the inboard groove. Clean all of the product's residue from the O-ring grooves of the rotor and on the O-ring sleeve within the body of the pump. Do not use an abrasive product to clean any of these areas. Abrasive products can damage the machine seal areas, resulting in a sealing failure. Inspect for any damage to the O-ring grooves of the rotor and O-ring sleeve. If there is damage to the sleeve or sleeve O-ring, it will need to be replaced at this time. RTP20 pumps manufactured prior to August 2014 utilize grub screws to retain the O-ring sleeves. Versions of the RTP20 manufactured after August 2014 utilize socket head cap screws incorporated with through holes that help to better retain the sleeves. When replacing older sleeves with the current version, it is imperative that the correct socket head cap screws be used. This will prevent the older version screws from making contact with the shaft and ultimately causing damage. Kits are available that include the current version of the sleeves, as well as the correct socket head cap screws. Removing the O-ring sleeve will be dependent on the sleeve version your pump is constructed with. Located between the rotor case and gearbox is a sleeve retaining collar. The sleeve will be held in place by either grub screws or socket head cap screws. After loosening these screws from each side, pull the sleeves forward from the front end of the pump. Next, remove the sleeve O-ring from the sleeve's O-ring groove. Lubricate the sleeve O-ring by using a food-grade lubricant that is compatible with the products that will be handled. Install the sleeve O-ring in the O-ring groove of the sleeve. Align the anti-rotation slot of the O-ring sleeve with the anti-rotation pin found within the retaining collar of the pump housing. Press the sleeve rearward until the O-ring sleeve is fully seated against the pump housing. With the O-ring sleeve fully seated against the housing, tighten the applicable screws located on the retainer collar and torque to 4.5 Newton meters or 3.3 foot-pounds. If the current version of the socket head cap screw retainers are used, verify that the retainer screws have passed through the holes located on the O-ring sleeve and that the head of the retainer is fully seated on the retainer collar. Using a food-grade lubricant, lubricate the shaft O-ring. Next, install the lubricated O-ring in the O-ring groove of the specific shaft. For single O-ring configurations, install the dynamic O-ring in the outboard O-ring groove of the rotor. Be sure to utilize a food-grade lubricant that is compatible with the products being handled. For double O-ring configurations, install the secondary dynamic O-ring in the inboard O-ring groove of the rotor. Next, install the primary O-ring in the outboard O-ring groove of the rotor. Note that the area between the secondary and primary dynamic O-ring must be packed with a food-grade lubricant to lubricate the secondary O-ring during operation. Failure to do so will result in failure of the secondary O-ring, possible damage to the O-ring sleeve, and a reduction in the service life of the primary O-ring. Again, be sure to use a food-grade lubricant that is compatible with the products being handled. Install the rotors on the shaft, which they were removed from. Note that the missing spline of the rotor will need to be aligned with the missing spline of the shaft. Install a new O-ring on the rotor retainer. Lubricate and install, but do not fully tighten. Block the rotors using Wright Flow Technologies rotor locking tool Z94-8877-06. Alternatively, you may use a suitable malleable material such as nylon or wood that will prevent damage to the rotors. Do not use a metallic material to lock the rotors. Torque the rotor retainers to 108 Newton meters or 80 foot-pounds by turning each in a clockwise rotation. Note that all torque specifications can be found within the installation and operation manual. With the rotors installed, use a depth micrometer or other similar device to measure the front clearance between the rotor case and the front faces of the rotors. With a feeler gauge set or similar device, measure the side, rear, and mesh clearances. Operating clearances can be found within the installation and operation manual. Operating clearances should be checked in multiple locations while rotating the rotors 90 degrees. When rotating the rotors, feel for smooth rotation of the gearbox as well. Properly clean the front cover and O-ring groove. Lubricate and install a new front cover O-ring. Install the front cover and retainers. Torque the front cover retainers to 55 Newton meters or 40.6 foot-pounds. Note that all torque specifications can be found within the installation operation manual. Your Wright Flow Technologies RTP-20 lobe pump is ready to be put back into service. Follow the suggested maintenance schedule located in the RTP installation and operation manual for a long, trouble-free service life. If you still have any questions regarding this or other Wright Flow Technologies products, please contact your local authorized Wright Flow Technologies distributor or visit us on the web at wrightflowtechnologies.com. Thank you.